Also, don't really mind playing against too much. They've let it through with the first pick a couple times this turn.
Mirana, of course, a notable pickup based on exactly what you were saying earlier, that EG likes to pick two characters that could be very flexible in terms of where their position is going to be.
Sean, you gotta call him here. You're giving me a panic attack when you call them characters.
So sorry.
Might as well just call them champions at this point.
I've actually never played this game, PPD.
They're heroes, so now you know.
Naga Siren.
Naga Siren, the anti-team fight hero.
Which fits perfectly against the Sanking and Disruptor.
Nice sleep into Arrow. Players are very talented. They can definitely land that combination 100% of the time, I'd say.
Has there been very much carry Naga at group stages?
Nope. I think in one game.
Yeah, but that's a C9 thing.
Yeah.
No one else thinks that's good.
So Sand King and Disruptor. Sand King, a very reliable pick. Disruptor, big playmaker.
Do you think Naga Siren is so good even when it's not versus Void pick? I think most of the time I saw it was versus Void.
It was, yeah, I've seen it a lot versus Void, and I've seen EG comboed a couple times with Disruptor as well, which was taken from them, so they can't do that combination, but the Sleep Arrow is still pretty strong.
Sleep Black Hole?
Sleep Black Hole also strong.
In the last games, when Sai played it, he usually just waited for the opponent to use some heavy ultimates and then sleep and reset the fight and then arrow and then take the fight.
Definitely.
In terms of the bans, we see Newbee getting rid of Pugna, and if any of you caught day one of group stages, Pugna was an extremely popular and very powerful hero in almost all the games he was played.
Naga and Pugna in combination is actually a pretty strong combo. Pugna will allow your team to group up and push towers, and if the enemy team tries to initiate on you and start the fight while you're chipping away, Naga can save Pugna and just sleep.
Newbee's turn to pick.
Bans Lycan. Big pick for Arteezy. Of course, very common pick on the Newbee side.
And no Alk.
Yeah, they're worried about the push. Alchemist definitely banned. Smart thinking on each part.
Yeah, you said they really struggled a lot against Alchemist.
They just die. Whatever, that hero is just their Achilles heel.
5 seconds remaining.
The hero's fallen in and out of favor by most teams, and they've just always consistently lost to it. So, ban it. Decision.
So, of course, looking at the Newbee lineup, Disruptor, I mean, some of the key combinations that we've seen, Disruptor, Earthshaker combo has been very not a possibility anymore.
Lots of disable, lots of team fight. It's very hard to split push and run away from a Disruptor. Your best bet is to go into the... You might want to pick up a little bit more team fight to bolster their lineup.
And in terms of that team fight, are you thinking someone like a Faceless Void?
Void's okay. I would really like somebody that can build a beast on their side.
Venomancer.
Okay.
Awesome. I have no clue how to think of Venomancer in a lineup. Ake, hit me with it.
Well, he can be both support and he can be on the lane. He can be mid and safe lane.
Visage, right? For Arteezy here?
They could. I think Venomancer is usually safe lane now because he can bully out an offlaner very, very easily. So they might go for
5 seconds
Summons.
remaining.
Summons have been Venomancer's bane. So Furion, Broodmother, Visage. Those are my favorite 3 right now. What do you think, Ben?
All sounds pretty good. Think about if Naga Siren is going to just be like a medic this game. Think like a Scepter pipe. I don't know. I haven't seen the Scepter too much, but I think it could be pretty good versus lane.
You know, Melini, we talked a little bit about, you know, Mirana having a lot of possibilities and how she can be played. I think she'll wind up fitting in the lineup.
Like the core.
Turn to pick.
They don't really have any setup for her right now.
I think so too, that it's a core, and especially now when they pick Kunkka. But I mean, they could still go Naga carry, right, Peter?
They could. I would be
your favorite.
I'd be very disappointed.
Probably not. Sai has been playing the Naga before, so
you don't want to see hour-long games.
I just want to see EG win. You know, I'm very biased caster up here.
5 seconds remaining.
Trying to, you know, my best interest.
No problem. Got no shame. Wear it proudly.
All's well. Bleed blue. We got a lot of EG fans here today, I think. I can hear them from out here.
All right.
Impressive stuff in there, guys.
Well, hey, now it's my turn to pander. Any Newbee fans in the audience?
Less.
Good job.
Good
job.
China shows up for this tournament.
A bad one.
A bad.
Mostly against Mirana, I think, to remove the arrow.
Now, was this one of the heroes that had not been yet picked?
I believe so.
Yes,
Correct.
I believe it was. Oh no, he had been picked. It was Bane, Spectre, Tiny, and Wraith King. Abaddon, though, one of the most unpicked heroes in all of TI.
Abaddon's one of my favorite heroes. I like seeing him get played.
And it really fits the lineup. They have the Kunk as well for X Torrent into Arrow, so they have a lot of Arrow setups.
10 seconds
Abaddon
remaining.
really fits Newbee.
There's the Furion, so it's Universe Furion,
5
Sumail
seconds
Mirana,
remaining.
probably Zainaga, Crit, Kunkka. Last pick, Arteezy hero. Getting some summons for that Venomancer that we talked about. I like that a lot.
Could be the Visage then, because they ban on Drow.
Yeah, Drow banned. They could still do the Visage. I'm still a fan.
So, in terms of looking at the lineups right now, how would you evaluate Newbee as a team?
Lots of team fight and a pretty
10
decent amount of
seconds
catch with
remaining.
Sand King and Disruptor.
Fairly weak anti-push. And they need some ramp-up
5
time, too.
seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
definitely want to get some ultimates. They're a bit weak to BKBs, but
EG's
G-scores
turn
aren't.
to pick. These turn to pick.
And now the final pick for Evil Geniuses is Timbersaw.
Looks like a good OD game. I like OD here.
Now-
Versus summons, which is...
This is what I'm talking about, where I look at this lineup and it just takes me a minute to figure out who the hell is playing who.
I think, well, we'll see what Newbee decides to
10
go mid. That'll
seconds
definitely
remaining.
decide who takes the Timbersaw. It's going to be Sumail and Arteezy on the Timbersaw Mirana.
5 seconds
And
remaining.
if Newbee picks a melee hero for mid, then I imagine Sumail will take that Timbersaw to the mid lane.
So, okay, again, I want to ask the same question. How do you evaluate Evil Geniuses' team lineup as a whole? What are their strengths?
I think with the Prophet, they want to take towers early, and I think Timbersaw can work with that as well, because he's very strong earlier with his reactive armor. But they don't have as much push as they've had the other games when I watched them play with the Prophet, so we're gonna see how that works out. They usually have SPPs like Visage or some other here as well.
You may now select
Outworld Devourer.
Dream
OD.
OD game.
I like that OD. It's solid.
Sumail's Mirana and Arteezy on Timbersaw.
There it is. Yep, ranged hero mid.
Wow, what an interesting lineup for this very first game between EG and Newbee. Casters, take it away.
Thank you very much, Day 9. And indeed, Evil Geniuses versus Newbee here on day 1 of TI7. We couldn't have asked for anything more, could we, Fog? This
definitely
is going to
not.
be incredible.
I'm super excited. I was hoping that we'd get some like EG Newbee type of matchup in these type of upper bracket, because these two teams actually match up super well versus each other. Very similar kind of play styles. We'll see how it plays out coming in.
And the picks as well, as the panel said, something a little different. Arteezy on the Timbersaw, but what seems to be a very strong finisher from Newbee. They seem to love it. Do you like this as well? XCCC getting the OD.
I love the OD pick here. It's super good to disrupt the combos, very good for the pure damage versus Timbersaw as well, and one of his most comfortable heroes. So definitely looking strong for XCCC, which we've been saying on the panel. He is the one to focus on for
He
the
is.
Newbee team.
I mean, as
And
Ben
he
was
gets a great
saying, you
hero.
know, at the start of that section, coming into this, it's hard for teams to have a mid that's going to be able to stand toe-to-toe with Sumail. But XCCC on the OD. Sumail, of course, on the Mirana, as Peter kind of talked about, maybe EG shuffling things around just to try and get the favorable matchups. Is this a lane there where Sumail can still, kind of flaunt himself and get the edge against XCCC?
Yeah, he should be able to do fine. And I'm assuming that we're going to have like Zai chilling around the mid area too, so he's going to put the extra pressure around. So I think Sumail will be just fine in that matchup. It's probably slightly OD favored, but Mirana has the scaling factor where you get like the double Wraith, and action isn't the greatest, but you can at least do that when you have a secondary Naga there.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen, getting ourselves into game 1 of this best of 3 series in the upper bracket. And my, oh my, what a game this has the potential to set up to be as we go through the lineup of Newbee. Faith, of course, supporting up on the Disruptor. And Arteezy building Pipe of Insight, taking a page out of Eternal Envy's book there, XCCC. On mid, Mugi, the carry Venomancer. Something that Evil Geniuses himself, of course, will know quite well.
Yeah.
We've seen in the past, back at Epicenter, pretty much every game Arteezy played.
Yeah,
Venomancer.
I talked to Jack
So
a little
he's
bit.
going to know how to deal with it.
Yeah, I talked to Jack a little bit before this game actually happened, and he was letting me know. He's like, yeah, Newbee, of course, they highly respect EG, but not only that, they've looked at them in the past, and they've actually taken a couple strategies, a couple heroes from them, and tried them out. So this shows it right away with this kind of draft. So the OD is really cool here, not just for, of course, like the save mechanic as we were talking about with the Astro, but
30 seconds
the Essence Aura can put a big factor in with the Abaddon push with the Venomancer. You're going to have like that infinite mana sustain kind of going on. We have an early smoke coming out, it looks like Newbee. They're trying to get deep and aggressive onto that first bounty rune.
So they can get this as at the moment, obviously up in EG's own jungle, only RTZ all by his lonesome. So Newbee definitely have the chance to catch him if he does come too close to this top bounty.
We've got a double. Yeah, both teams actually smoked up and went for the opposing bounty rune. So we've some dodging action, it looks like, happening.
Yeah, EG having the chance of getting this connection impact onto the Abaddon. They are going to spot each other out, and we'll see if they try and make a go. KP trying to man up. Between these three, quite hard to bring down the Abaddon. And he will be spot out by the Torrent. And in fact, he's just got the one level in the Aphotic Shield. I don't know if it's going to be enough there already. EG chasing down KP, and that will be... Oh! Tries to salve up, not quite enough. Universe takes the first blood.
Don't believe he got the Stout Shield block there. He was hoping for it, of course, but... Yeah, nice play coming out. Beautiful Torrent. KP tried to juke it, but unable to do so.
Yeah, great start for Universe, of course, down on that bottom lane. It's going to be paired up at the moment with Naga Siren, and indeed, as you mentioned, looks like EG are going to have the focus of 2 towards mid. Try and keep SCCC on his toes in this matchup against Samael's Mirana.
So we didn't get to touch too much on it either. EG is running the dual melee supports, which we've been seeing kind of rise a bit more now, but this time around it's strange, right? Like when they've had the Naga, they've been tending to have like that Disruptor, as the panel was mentioning. This time though, getting the Kunkka, having that big AoE kind of team fight and catch, which they were lacking. I'm pretty sure that's just why they wanted having that catch, which they were lacking.
Bottom lane again, Zai. Looking for the body blocks on KP. They will be able to burn through the first shield. But again, this dual lane, not a lane that I'm too used to seeing, really. You know, Nature's Prophet and Naga Siren, but it seems to be doing pretty well at the moment against this solo lane KP Abaddon.
RTZ is making his journey. He has walked from the top lane all the way down to bottom. He has now arrived. So he is going to be versus that Abaddon, and they're both just about level 1. So they're going to be able to trade right clicks with each other, and Universe is making the adjustment. They want to have that Timber versus Abaddon matchup.
With that in mind, as KP sees it, we'll see if they themselves want to make any sort of adjustment. At mid lane, though, it's going to be the ball into the setup. They're not going to follow through on it, just looking for harassment onto Samael. Didn't quite have the Burrow Strike back up.
They stacked the Burrow and the Astral there, actually, by accident. They could have put a little more harass. Not a kill, but slight little miscommunication coming out between the two of them. Bounty runes being exchanged.
As we can see, this bottom lane matchup, RTZ, as you say, on this Timber Sword, being able to heavily nuke down the Abaddon. KP only sitting on 1 CS at the moment of this bottom lane. He has not had a fun opening because of the pressure and the matchups that EG have managed to find against him on this bottom lane. Elsewhere, of course, things looking quite nice for Newbee. You have this Venomancer, and at the moment, Mugi pretty much free farm up on this top lane. Not a lot that EG can do to slow him down. He's nearly level 3. He's got the backup of his supports. It's a scary lane. Universe and Zai have to be very careful.
Invis tanking.
Especially with Kaka coming in, getting the 2-man Burrow Strike from Invis. Universe just looks, he's going for the TP out, but he's not going to quite make it. That'll be one. Zai will just get himself away. Mid lane, Samael and Crit at the same time, going in with the harassment. But as we're seeing, this top lane tri-lane, I mean, granted, the Sand King did have an Invis, but there's definitely kill potential here for Newbee. Oh, hey, Universe! He just finds himself a freebie. KP in the jungle. I don't know if he was trying to deny himself there. It was only to the small neutrals, but it didn't work out, and Universe was ready to go.
Yeah, picking up those phase boots when he TP'd back. This is scary for KP, because now he doesn't really have a good place to go. Bottom lane is impossible for him to actually stand toe-to-toe with the Timber Saw. He can get some trade farm, but he can't harass him, really. Like in the nature of the matchup, if it's a direct 1v1, Abaddon versus Timber right at the start, Abaddon can deal with it, because you get your passive and you're able to right-click and harass. But now the Timber Saw has an advantage, which makes it super difficult for a melee strength hero.
Yeah, absolutely. Every other lane, you know, top and middle, looking to go fairly even for the time being, but yeah, that bottom lane, really a struggle for KP and Newbee. But perhaps that's the plan. Maybe they felt that always, you know, the Abaddon's lane in this draft, it was always going to be tough. It was always going to be in the lane that was going to be sacked by the team, and Newbee themselves will look to try and make up for it elsewhere on the map. I mean, he's still getting the levels, and as we've seen, he has died a couple of times, but you know, once he's sort of the level 4 point, he's got an extra point in the Aphotic Shield, he should feel a little safer.
Yeah, just a bit safer, for sure. He's always able to shield off the Whirling Death debuff, so he can't get 2 of them stacked up on himself, but Artee's diving under.
They've got a lot of diving potential. Is he going to go down again? He does get the deny off with the mist coil. But the pressure really being put up for KP on this bottom lane. EG are not a fan.
Yeah, that secondary point in the Whirling Death. If anytime you go near the tree line, you get hit by that pure damage and the stat reduction. But yeah, he can shield it off, but it's still, yeah, that nature of the matchup is too hard when the Timber Saw is giving an advantage. Just, he's got to still keep TPing down there, though, so he still has to be getting that experience. his job in this game, he has to be a bit farmed. So
he had to be careful here. Came a little too close for the CS, and now there's the setup with the Astral Imprisonment coming in with the Burrow Strike. Faith there as well to join the party. We'll get the value CS on the way down with the arrow, but that will be Samael taken out. Same time though, up top, they realize that Mugi, he's left alone, and Evil Geniuses, as soon as they see an opportunity on top, they try and go, but Mugi, he's just a little too big. Tangos it up, walks away, as Newbee certainly making the favorable trade there. Evil Genius is trying to make something happen as soon as they realize both supports are moved mid, but they couldn't quite get that Venom.
It's always the scary thing about landing versus that OD. Even though the the CS is relatively close, the OD of course pulls ahead with some denies because you're Astral the enemy and you get 3 last hits under it, but it's the threat. You Astral, you have to be very careful from those rotations coming in from Sanking Disruptor. And Newbee really needs to make sure that they do get those successful ganks because they're running an aggro tri-lane. So when you run this, your supports sometimes get under-leveled. You have to make sure to distribute your experienced resources properly so you don't get behind.
Look at this mid lane again, so much attention being put. Universe trying to see if he can find the position to TP in. He's playing around with it.
Kaka's there, he's set up.
He is prepared to turn if Universe does commit. And Universe will actually turn his attention up towards the top lane where, for the time being, he's hanging around there with the Naga Siren. Will die.
So we've actually got, it's 5 minutes, first catapult wave. KP actually pulls the lane bottom. So now Arteezy's got a full wave and a catapult going under the tower.
KP has to be so careful.
He's got they're going to push this tower here.
He can easily dive this tower, especially with the help of Universe. KP, they're going to be in trouble again. The shield's taken down. They will sprout him up, trying to get Arteezy in position to get the burst damage through, but as it is,
right clicks are adding up.
Right clicks, he's just doing it here. KP, he's going to be going down again. The same time though in the mid lane, Newbee again with that tri-lane play, bringing in the 2 supports to get Samael.
Nice rotations from both teams. Universe is recognizing that catapult bottom. The catapult actually dies though, so KP actually pulling them away from there, lets the catapult go down and alleviates a lot of tower damage that would be coming out. But EG definitely communicating on all fronts. Arteezy probably like, hey Universe, catapult wave coming down, we can dive this, and they do it perfectly.
For sure. I mean, we can see in the mid lane now, Crit is back there. It really feels like they need to put more into trying to protect Samael. Just having some sort of torrent for counter players, as we've seen Newbee get away with this Astral Imprisonment setup twice. Bottom lane, Arteezy will take the tower. KP and Kaka in the neighborhood, but of course Arteezy not feeling too scared at all now. He's level 6, he can pick up the arcane boots from the side shops, and he is top of the net worth.
Nice little 30 gold for their team. Top lane Mugi's been contesting this tri/quad stack that it was for a while with his Plague Wards. Actually claimed him in the majority of it, so a bit of a win coming there for him. Zai though now contesting it as well, and I mean Zai's doing incredibly well on levels. Almost arcane boots, almost level 6 on Naga. Gonna be very relevant in the next upcoming fights with that sleep for the setup.
Bottom lane, KP, I mean he's back here trying to get what he can against Arteezy, but he has to be so careful at this point where he's still yet to hit 6 himself.
Newbee wants to use this catapult top. They smoke up. They're trying to put the pressure on Universe and that safe lane tower. They should be able to with their timing as well, but EG seems to know something's up. They're making the rotation with Zai and with Crit.
You have the 2 points in Glimpse on Faith, so have very good catch potential. Depends how deep they want to go. Indeed, in fact,
he's trapped. Oh no!
He's just going to set up for the kill there with the illusion block, trapping the Disruptor in. They'll see if they can play around for more. Torrent will connect onto Kaka. Oh, we saw just there the support Naga with the block, the Riptide and the illusions, just absolutely shred to pieces that Disruptor.
They really wanted to go for that dive. They really wanted to get that tower. Match that aggression from EG toward bottom. So 2,000 gold lead right now going for EG, making slightly the better move so far. And they're actually the ones who are able to pressure towers a little bit better with that Nature's Prophet. Universe showing up to all those threats. With the drum now finished up, phase drum 8 minutes. Pretty darn good.
Very good timing there for Universe. Same as well. We'll see what the build's going to be this game from Mugi. Looks like he's eyeing up the treads into the 4-star. Just so he has that extra maneuverability, because there is a lot of catch and chase down from EG with the X marks and such, but the same certainly to be said by Newbee.
4 steps are very important in this game too, because they already have the combo from EG, the land the arrows. Of course, there's your Baton Shield to move them, but making them further away like that. Arteezy bottom. Looks like they're making the move for him.
He's got to get out of there. SCCC and Faith both looking for him. They will get the glimpse back, but
the Timber Chain all the way across.
And he goes for the TP out. Arteezy, the 10k madman, gets away. What a cute little play there from the boy. Top lane, Mugi as well. He says I could TP out, but no! Zai's there.
And the arrow.
The arrow's in. EG take down Mugi.
They have detection, says Crit.
Destroy the barracks, then get back. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Sumail here. There's still tier 1s to take down.
But that's impressive there. This is all because of how efficient Zai's being with his movements. He's level 6 pre-10 minutes, so that means without the tome, if he wasn't 6 there, that kill was not happening.
It's easy. Looking for the hood build next and such.
Definitely.
Almost then. Certainly going back for the Bloodstone afterwards.
Yeah, the hood versus like, it's Sand King, Venomancer,
yeah.
Disruptor, it's just way too much magical damage.
See if they can get a catch up top. Does have the backup. Here we go with the glimpse back. But look, the X to
X play.
Sweet little play. Very, very strong to have the Kunkka against this Disruptor.
Something we've talked about in the past, but this time around it was a little bit forgotten about how powerful that X can be versus Disruptor.
Absolutely, totally destroys.
Play.
Yeah, what Newbee is trying to do then, and you know every time that they go for that glimpse play, there's going to be numerous heroes there. So essentially, you know, a large amount of time wasted for Newbee and SCCC, who was in the neighborhood looking to get involved in the kill.
SCCC is like the big person they have to play around for the kills now. Venomancer, not really the greatest at going for these kills with everybody else now because of how much escape EG really does have. The Timbersaw, the Mirana, both very hard to kill heroes if they don't have that damage or that lockdown. Now they do have Disruptor 6 on Newbee, so they can respond with that Static Storm, but now EG making a move, looking for KP.
KP is level 7 now, of course, so with the Max Athletic Shield and the Borrowed Time, he is quite a tricky target.
That's not a great place either. There's
go for
power, but now with Arteezy coming in and KP overextending a bit.
With him coming out this far, they definitely should have potential to bring him down twice. Here's the first setup from Crip, brings him back into Torrent. Borrowed Time out straight away. KP, he has got backup on the way. Faith TP's in, Athletic Shield's out again. KP should be fine. Now it's Evil Geniuses that have to be careful. Faith with the glimpse back onto Crit, SCCC in the neighborhood as well, trying to chase this down. Gonna need quite close the gap for the Astral. There's gonna be the turret to create the space. In fact, EG jump back in. The Starstorm for Sumail. They take down KP, and they may even get more out of this as well. They walk out the Static Storm, and Evil Geniuses just turn around.
They had everything going for them there. Newbee in a place where it was a awkward place, like awkward location to fight. Arteezy able to delay it long enough for the backup to arrive. Universe with the Wrath of Nature. More than enough damage coming through.
And Newbee there really did feel that they had the chance to turn it. And to be fair, it did look like they did, but as you say, Evil Geniuses is turning up as a team, taking the fight, taking a tier 2 here on the bottom lane, 12 minutes
12 minutes at a tier 2. That gives them so many access points now into the Newbee jungle. And it makes it a bit awkward now. Newbee had to like park somebody bottom all the time to be able to deal with that push, because now Nature's Prophet has an avenue to be able to start chipping at that high tier 3 tower.
We'll see it again. And pretty much what the call here is made to turn as soon as Arteezy gets massive amounts of damage onto KP after the Borrowed Time wears off. And as soon as you see the OD astraling himself as Newbee, you know the fight's over.
Yep.
He's stuck in the midst of it all. No way of getting SCCC out. And a very, very painful fight then. A little smile from Zai. It comes out just for the moment. Back to work, he says, as he gets back into the game. But 8 for 3, 5k gold lead at the moment for Evil Geniuses at this very early stage of the game.
Super good opener coming out for them, opening laning phase. Kaka now trying to find that Blink Dagger. I think if they try to make those gank attempts happen from now on, they want to have the Sand King there for that hard lockdown. Because other than that, they don't really have anything. It's just the kinetic field, the Static Storm. So they really have to be playing around the Sand King and the OD if they want to make those plays. But very difficult when EG just playing a little bit faster, just making the moves happen. And during this, Zai's just been parked up in the top lane for quite a while.
Working
level
on
7, working on mech, almost halfway there. It's gonna make their timing for their push very nice. Maybe Arteezy will go for the Bloodstone and then into a pipe so that they can threaten that high ground eventually.
Definitely, as you mentioned earlier, the importance of these 4 stars for Newbee. Mugi and SCCC going straight for them. Relatively close to having them as well, and then at least there's that little bit of potential extra save to reposition their teammates.
KP finishes up his Midas, so that you know, the little bit of desperation Midas trying to catch up after that hard start that he did have. But very deep wards coming out from EG, since they know they already claimed tier 2. They can now watch a lot of the early movements out of the base coming out from Newbee, so they will actually know. If Newbee does not smoke, they'll know a lot of where those rotations are happening.
We'll see who is the next move. I mean, at the moment, both teams seemingly content with continuing to just farm up, making sure that all lanes are covered.
They want to make a move on top. Sumail making the rotation. So I was trying to get a net, but Kaka backs up and gets a little bit safer now. Rotation's coming out though. crit, draws the line. He wants to get a deep ward so that they can start another deep ward on the left side of the map. Because right now, a lot of EG's vision is all on the right side, so they don't really have a lot of information on that left side. So, and he does put one down.
As we can see though as well for Newbee, the vision game very nice in the sense that Mugi consistently keeps this area just scattered with plague wards. So any sort of movement like that is going to be impossible from Evil Geniuses unless they come in with the smoke.
Be very content. They're very happy with the way this pace is going. They're just farming. They're farming more, and they're also able to threaten towers. Newbee's not. Does Newbee have Blink on Sanking yet? They're 400 short, so defending this tier 1 is very difficult.
Don't even get the deny there as EG take the tower, looking for the torrent, but in fact, the sleep will mean that the torrent doesn't connect. Nonetheless, they want to go in for more. Here comes the boat straight away. NCCC will get the dodge off with the
Oh, the static storm!
And now the turnaround, 3 a trap. Massive ult from Mugi. Evil Geniuses, they have to get out somehow. Zai trying to run under the cover of the Moonlight Shadow from Sumail, but it's not enough. Zai is down. They're going to lose both of them. Zai and Sumail falling as Newbee come in perfectly with that turnaround. A great angle for Kaka to come in on the Sand King, hitting that burrow strike, setting up for a perfect combination from Faith.
That was, yeah, absolutely perfect. 3-man static storm on the exact hero that he wanted to get. Newbee now able to actually turn it around a bit.
Absolutely.
With a little bit of miscoordination, but also that quick astral coming out from SCC. The boat combo with the sleep is very hard to pull off versus these heroes with those defense mechanics.
Yeah, we'll see it again here. I mean, the initial kind of play with the torrent and the sleep messes up, but obviously EG feel they've got enough skills elsewhere to still go for it. But as you said, this time, bam, just in time, and Kaka walked through. They did not have eyes on the Sand King. They let him go to work, and then all the ults come out. Epicenter, everything. Everything comes out from Newbee. I mean, I feel EG were lucky to only have lost 2 there. That could have got a lot messier, the way that turned around.
Trying to continue their aggression here down onto SCCC, but unable to connect the torrent. He's got his 4-staff out already, so we'll have that saved. So SCCC building toward that BKB. It's going to be very helpful toward EG's lineup since they're like 90% magic damage. However, we haven't seen the Miranas build toward that physical damage in the recent months. For like the Manta, the Diffusal Blades, something along those lines, and that's what Sumail does have queued up. Universe going for that Orchid, very good versus both the Abaddon and versus OD. OD, a hero that suffers a lot versus silences. Of course, Abaddon can shield it off if it's on him, so more than likely it'll be on the Abaddon in most of those engagements. And not allow him to save people.
Look at this, Newbee smoking up, trying to make a play, maybe to catch EG off guard, as EG may not expect this, as they know that Newbee expended the majority of their big ultimates in that last fight. And Zai, indeed, he's wandering dangerously close to them here. We'll see if they can get the catch, and it looks like they should, with Kaka jumping in with the burrow strike, static storm to make sure there's no chance of a song or any sort of return play, as Newbee get a clean pick-off indeed.
Zai with the B right back. Recognizes. So, yeah, Newbee making some very good reactionary plays, working with what they've got on the map so far. They haven't gotten to, they only got to claim 1 tower and almost a secondary one, but playing very defensive, very reactive to EG's movements.
Mugi continue to farm up very nicely on the top lane. I mean, we can see at the moment, in terms of the individual hero's net worth, it's only KP that's behind, and granted, as you mentioned, 30 minutes in, getting that Midas. He's going to start to close that gap if this game continues at this pace. So across the board, really, everyone in a very kind of equal position. There's a slight lead for Evil Geniuses, but now only being 2,000, it's really tailed off. It was a lot worse earlier on in the game, but ever since that turnaround mid and that pick-offs like as we saw onto Zai, Newbee recovering their position, and it's looking to be a close one coming out of the end of this early stage.
Yeah, EG now being a bit scared because they know that Sanking Blink Dagger is up. The threat of the big team fight is there. That's what the panel was talking about with the draft. Newbee has a very team fight oriented draft. While EG, they do have team fight, but they want to be able to reset and re-engage with that sleep at all times. So now Newbee able to pressure toward that top tower. They're going to get a lot of map control from this, getting the access points into the EG jungle. EG's not spending too much time in there though, but yeah, you see the lines already drawn out from Arteezy. He's like, there's going to be people around here. Zai already making the move up there, sending some illusions to push out the wave.
As the mech done now with Zai, so Evil Geniuses definitely a potential to group up and look to take these fights.
I wonder what KP's going to buy on the Abaddon. He's banking up gold. I think maybe we might see that Radiance, right?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Used to say, yeah.
I would not be surprised.
He went for the experience and talent too, since he went to the Midas, so he's going to surge up and up that net worth and experience, of course.
I'm going to see if Evil Genius can get the catch here, but already Newbee aware to the happenings. S-Triple-C is already out.
They might get Moogie though.
Not going to quite get the initial X, and all that force out will mean he's out of range. Moogie getting himself out. Zai's continuing to chase, see if he can find anything, but now with Kaka in the neighborhood, impossible for EG to go for Moogie anymore. So nice escape there from Newbee after sort of, as you say, taking the tier 1 and starting to clean out EG's jungle.
This lull period for EG is actually very threatening because now it's OD. The OD is almost going to have a BKB finished up, and that's going to completely counter all of EG's threats that they have out on the table. So he's going to be super scary. The only thing they can really do is net him and kite him or sprout him, but of course he has the 4-step to kind of deal with that already. So that's probably what Newbee's waiting for next. To get that BKB online, then they can make a smoke play and get on the aggressive side. Because they should be feeling quite comfortable with how much they've gotten, how much time they've gotten, how much of the map has opened up after that mid lane fight. KP's chilling. He's just been farming for a while. 3,000. He's on his way.
He really is. You know, as I said, he's going to be up there soon with the rest of them, and yeah, he's less than 1,000 really behind Samael and such on the Mirana. I'm talking about Samael. How is he doing on his next item? So Manta Star, yeah, just a few hundred away. So very close to having that one though.
Great. Gets spotted out in the jungle. There's no way to stun him or lock him down though, so it will TP away.
I mean, do you think this is an issue if you're Evil Geniuses and you are letting this sort of time pass where suddenly this Abaddon is going to pop out of the jungle and have a Radiance complete at this pace? It's
definitely scary, yeah. They're acquiring, you know, they're farming all over the place too. It's not like they're falling super far behind the map, but it's the fact that this OD now has BKB and Newbee actually has such a scary group up. They don't have great objective takers, but if they can group up into straight team fight, and if they win through that Song of the Siren, that's where it's going to be big wins for them. We now do see the Song coming out. They are on the prowl for some Newbee heroes.
See if they can get Moogie. He is going to head up to the high ground, very dangerously close to them. Smail has the DD as well. There's the X-Mark setup. Can he get himself out of this one? Well, with Universe and the silence there, there's no way he gets out. Tries to shove himself away, but the damage is too much. EG will claim the kill.
S-Triple-C is walking right up on Crit right now. Four shots him.
He gets it, jukes out the shard. And the damage coming in brings Samael incredibly low. Zai has to Song to make sure there's no chance of a Sanities or so turning around. They try and go for the arrow timing, but it's off. Evil Geniuses, they mess up Zai. That mech play does keep him alive, but they turn for the bigger kill. RTZ's turned up into a bit of a static storm.
They do not want to fight into this OD right now. 72 int stolen at this point. This is scary.
And Zai did end up ticking down as well. 3 gone, and now Newbee start to get the push on, and it's exactly as you said. As soon as that BKB is out on the OD, S-Triple-C, he can do what he wants in the fight.
Did you see him? He just ran into 4 heroes. He did not care at all. Kaka was farming jungle as well, and he's just like, nah, I don't need you.
72 intel stolen as well. He didn't even have to drop the ultimate.
Did we actually see where Kaka's epicenter was?
I'm not sure.
I see it's on cooldown, and I didn't really see him in the area, so I don't know what happened there, but S-Triple-C definitely just walking up, no fear whatsoever. And yeah, look at this instacked up. 72, if they're able to take a fight, it's probably going to be out by the time they will.
Yeah. If only it was level 20. Unfortunately, S-Triple-C, even he cannot achieve that. 23 minutes in.
Hey, we're talking about level 25. Of course, it's a long way away, but Newbee has some super threatening ones, be it the OD with plus duration and, of course, the Abaddon, which we've talked about is the strongest level 25 talent.
And that Radiance, yeah, it's about a minute away at this pace. Wow, as he is so close to having that recipe done.
This is a scary point for me now.
I think it really is. Bottom lane, Crit. Gonna hold back Kaka. Universe is there as well, but he has to be careful. I mean, Universe is playing with this, but he also knows. He'll Shadow Blade him back off.
Kaka just blinks in aggressively, he knows.
They do have 4 of them here on Newbee, but looks like EG will be fine as they hide in the trees, TP themselves out of there. 9 for 9 at the moment. Zai looking to get that Greaves complete. 500 gold away, and the recipe will be out. Faith going straight for the acronyms this game.
Long ways away.
For sure.
His will probably not come, but it's like naturally through team fights, maybe we'll see him get a couple big kills. And that can be a way to actually deal with if the BKBs and BKBs and such items come out for EG, they can just do the Astral combo into the Static Storm, one of the very strong combos we've seen in the past. Even though it only isolates one target, but it can be used very effectively.
There we have it. KP with this Radiance. I mean, KP, he has kept his composure and recovered absolutely amazing. We saw in that bottom lane, he was not having fun. Consistently getting dove upon. Newbee just absolutely leaving him alone, and this is why, because they felt that they could sort of hold the game off, get to this position, and you could not tell that this Abaddon had a tough opening. Play his Radiance 24 minutes in, you're fine with that.
Yeah. He's had a lot of freedom. He's literally been jungling for quite a long time now. Hasn't been needed to get involved into the engagements. After that mid-tier 1 fight, it's pretty much been all Newbee on the up and up. Yeah, the experience as well is going 6,000 for Newbee, and the gold is just about 2,000.
Yeah, just being that little bit more efficient in comparison to Evil Geniuses across the map, whilst there's this passive state of gameplay.
And they're building for late game. They're building for that kind of tri-core scaling, because Mugi built a Maelstrom, and he's gonna go for the BKB next. So he definitely wants to still be a damage-dealing force versus the Timbersaw, versus the Piranha, getting this extra magic damage that comes through the Maelstrom.
I mean, it's great there. It's great against, of course, the Nog's Illusion, the Treants from Nature's Prophet.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Perfect time to burn it. As you say, yeah, the speed that he's got it's fantastic. Top of the net worth Newbee.
They'll all be damage dealers. It's going to be an OD dealing damage, a Venomancer dealing high amounts of damage amongst his ultimate, which is already one of the higher ones, of course, and then Radiance Abaddon. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. When you look at EG's lineup, if you can control the Timber, sort of move out of the way of Zai's spells, who's coming in with the punch? I mean, it's going to take still a bit of time, really, before Sumail's got that much of a right click. He needs to have at least the Diffusal Blade done. He's still working towards that.
And sometimes we see versus those BKBs, what's good is those instant disables, which EG does not have in this type of game. They don't have a Blink Echo Slam. They don't have a Blink Sanguine Stun.
With this Moonlight, though, they will have eyes on Takaka. He actually just going to duke it out. They can't quite catch him now. He jumps forward, looking to block them up, and that's going to allow Triple C to come in. They will Sog, but that's going to mess up the both combo.
They got Sumail glimpse back already.
And they've got the kill with that one. That's the big one. Sumail down for 55, and EG, I mean, it feels like they're getting sort of the jitters here on this main stage. They're making all these plays, but they're not very coherent, and Newbee, they're keeping it cool.
For sure, Kaka did there. Dodging 2 spells and getting a nice burrow strike. It doesn't hit anybody, but survives and they get Sumail. That's all that matters there. And Song's on cooldown now for 100 seconds. Newbee had to expend nothing. They don't have the greatest Roche lineup, but they have the team fight around the Roche. So they might just be able to go in there and force EG to do something about it, because EG used everything. All of their ultimates were expended.
I mean, they probably hope that EG knows about this. This is just them dominating the game and saying, come and fight us, because they know that there's no way that EG can in the state that they are in. This is absolutely going to be a free Roshan for Newbee as they pick up the Aegis, and this is the point now where with the items and the power that Newbee have amassed, they can start thinking about trying to push down tier 2s and maybe even getting up to high.
And the Roche isn't even that slow, because the Curse of Avernus, the Abaddon's already starting to scale so heavily that it actually accelerates it that much more. Big gain there for Newbee now, having that Aegis. I wonder what KP is going to build next. With that Radiance, he's got another 3,000 already in stock.
My goodness. Radiance, is Octarine still the build on this Radiance Abaddon?
It's pretty damn strong if that's what they want to go for, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we know that obviously he's going to have mana for days. He can spam up those spells, as you mentioned, with having that Essence Aura, the OD when they group up and push. Looks like it's going to be the Agonists as he picks up the point booster. That's going to be the next point of call, and I mean, that obviously brilliant as well. If they do want to try and do some batting in the game soon, it's going to be massive up top. They will have the side of Evil Geniuses going for the play, and they'll put
they actually cursed him down before.
Very nicely done.
With the Silver Edge.
Silver Edge, hasn't he, Universe?
Silver Edge Orchid, unable to use that ultimate.
Nothing
from Abaddon
he can do. And that's the combo. And that's him down for a minute.
Maybe now he'll change his item build. Maybe he'll switch up to a Lotus Orb or something along those lines. We'll see if he does make the adjustment. He did buy the point booster, but needs something to be able to remove that silence so that he can activate and trigger his ultimate through that Silver Edge.
Oh yeah, he does change it.
He changed it up, right? Manta instead.
Going for the Manta stuff.
So more of a scaling kind of item. He wants to be a damage dealing transitioning core rather than getting these supportive type items.
So cleaning out the way. Rip, send the boat through. Faith hiding in the trees just in case anyone else was going to reveal themselves, but EG backing up. And looking to stick around. That's the Diffusal Blade finally done on Samael, but it really
He's
feels
fallen
like this
far
is...
behind.
I was going to say, this is quite a slow game from Samael. I mean, you look at the net worth on the heroes, and this is not the position you normally expect Samael to be in, at the bottom of all the cores on the map.
They put a lot of emphasis on
True,
Mirana.
they did gank a few times at the
they
start.
put free ganking on mid, and EG doesn't really have heroes that can save the Mirana that well. So yeah, Samael's definitely struggling in this one. Newbee with that Aegis.
It's all about that.
Making the play now toward mid, smoked up on the 2 supports behind the OD.
Radiant
They're showing the Venomancer top 2, so EG might not be expecting this one.
I mean, Samael, we just talked about him having a tough game. It's about to get even rougher as they trap him in the static storm. Newbee again with these big pickoffs. And at this pace, I don't know if the Samael's even going to get the chance to catch back into this game. As Newbee consistently focusing him down, and it's absolutely working at this stage. It's so hard for Samael to be any sort of threat at all against Newbee's lineup.
It's such a smart way that they do it too. It's like they don't show many people on the map. The lanes are in a pretty decent spot. Then Mugi shows top. He starts cooking. He starts like forcing the wave out a bit, and they smoke behind that mid lane with only 3 heroes, which EG just there's no way that they can see that coming with the Venomancer showing top.
Up to the high ground. Newbee ready to push in. EG, what can they do to hold this off? There's no Samael Mirana for 25 seconds. So KP can just afford to stand there, beat in upon it. We'll start to TP back at least the Sand King to try and clean out this bottom lane, as there's a bit of a split push coming in from Evil Geniuses. They themselves moving forward. Universe with the Treants starting to put some pressure onto the tier 3. And it looks like that's going to be enough to bring Newbee back off.
Oh, Kaka just causticing all that down. Cash money. SCCC building toward a Hex next, already level 20, so we were talking about those 25s a couple minutes ago, and it's approaching that point. Abaddon as well, getting level 20 soon. Once they get those level 25s, it just becomes absurd. But those 2 talents are super powerful for these long drawn-out team fights.
I mean, what's the plan here for Evil Geniuses? How do they recover from this sort of slump that they're hitting in the mid-game? And with a lineup that feels like it's going to be hard to come back against the size that SCCC is. I mean, you see SCCC
is going in.
Into the jungle of Evil Geniuses, popping the BKB. You know, he's had it with this passive play. He wants to fight. He wants to look for the action. I mean, he's now going to be a BKB charge down. I mean, we'll see if EG can capitalize on this. They've got Zai.
There's no BKB on the OD, but still Aegis. They don't want to try to make the play.
They're getting out.
There. It's too scary. Abaddon's right there as well, so if you do get like the arrow combo or anything, you can just remove it off. Definitely can't make an aggressive play onto the Aegis there. I
mean, that just goes to show, you know, effectively how far Newbee feel they are ahead.
Yeah.
Your OZ can just blink into the jungle, BKB, and he's like, if I get a kill, I get a kill. If I don't, whatever. Feeling that confident at the moment with the situation.
EG pretty much, like you were asking before, they need to split the map up. They need to just keep splitting. So that Aegis, once the BKB start getting lower as well, the fights start becoming a bit easier, but it still ain't easy. It's a very hard game for them coming to the further state because of those talents that we mentioned and just the nature of how Newbee's draft works for theirs. These BKBs, BKB on Venom, BKB on OD, majority of the threat from EG is just countered from that Magic community.
And there's no doubt that the split is being played. You see Universe, he amongst it all is still top of the second on the net worth.
They're trying to make a play.
So much across the map.
When that Aegis expires, they're trying to make a play here. But the BKB is back online for SCCC.
I mean, how do they catch it? They have to get the
an arrow.
Torrent. This is the combo. Torrent there, into the arrow, perfectly done. The Orchid of boat. Very, very clean execution from EG.
That's the only way they can do it is if he can't get the BKB off with the full.
I mean, and now that is an OD down for a minute. SCCC does not have buyback. Yep. This top lane, looking to be in trouble. EG are coming forward. Kaka tries with the epicenter, but he barely catches anyone. He gives a bit of a tickle to Arteezy, but EG stick around. The silence is down to KP. He's forced back. Mugi will
Storm on 2, on 3.
Has trapped 3 of them here. EG may have overstayed their welcome with the burst strike as well. Newbee still fight back hard without their OD. They may even get more as there's the glimpse back onto crit. Newbee say this is very much still a game we have a hold on as they bring 4 of EG down. And EG, quite like myself, maybe getting a little too excited off the back of taking down the OD.
I was just sitting there waiting for the fight recap to come up just so I can see how much damage the Venomancer did. 5,100 damage in that fight, getting everybody into the Poison Nova. Perfect follow-up Static Storm without the OD, as you were mentioning. Yeah. They get a lot of damage on that tower, though. It's down to 200 health, so it does give Universe a bit of opportunities and options to go there and pressure it, but You see how hard it is
Look
for
at this,
EG to get the kills on the OD there. It has to be perfect, the torrent into arrow, because they don't have that instant disable for the BKB.
And look at this. I mean, this is just the dream here as well for Faith. Just waltzes in. Look how grouped up EG are. They got so set on trying to finish off KP.
The Force Staff.
Bam.
You know, we touched on it. We said the Force Staffs were so important in this game. They almost killed KP because of the Silver Edge Orchid combo, so he couldn't use his ultimate. But then Force Staff, he's out of range, and the fight. EG just gets put into a clumping position and get hit by multiple ultimates and suffer.
And we saw there, you know, KP's life once again nearly was on the line because of the fact that he got Silver Edge hit and silence. Now he's got the Manta Star. So they were close to killing him. Now it's so hard. There's very little they can do in terms of trying to kill him at all at the start.
And even the Manta Radiance illusions are just obnoxious. It's not like they really have any hard right clickers on the side of EG. It's the Nature's Prophet and the Murano for that evasion, but it's just annoying that how farmed this Abaddon can be already. The 22, getting closer and closer to our 25. Universe.
See, jumping in, has the setup, sentry down. Zai will come in with the save. And straight with the glimpse. Oh no! Oh, Faith! He was there outside of the sleep radius, ready to set up with the glimpse back, and Universe is gone. I mean, Newbee, nothing goes past these guys. They will catch you.
And they're getting a lot of momentum. 8,000 gold lead now. Even Disruptor's 3/4 away toward an Aghanim as well. That's going to be a really nice little luxury piece that you can pick up. And the siege comes out.
And now this is Newbee's turn to go. This is how you break a high ground. The boat will come through. It's going to be juked out, whether it be Yules or Astral Imprisonments to keep Newbee safe. Jump forward, S-Triple-C just goes in. They jump forward with the Bow Strike crit. Will be kept alive by Zai, only just. The pipe's out as well. Buyback from Universe as they do their best to hold here, EG, but already the tier 3 falling low. It will force the BKB out on S-Triple-C. Newbee now looking to disengage. EG chasing down with the Moonlight. Can they actually get a catch onto anyone? At the same time, indeed, top lane, the Rat came through. Universe did take the top melee Rats. So EG, with this split, they are paying very heavily with lives as both Sumail and Crit go down. They got the melee racks trade, but was it worth it? Because now Newbee are back in. They know there's 2 down on EG. Faith will end up going down in the base as RTZ continues to put on the pressure, but Evil Genius's base looking to be in the biggest shambles as Newbee will clean up the middle lane of racks. Still 2 tier 2s in both of the side lanes.
They're going for tier 4.
They're going for the game.
At least.
There's no buybacks here for EG, only RTZ and Universe. Can they actually hold this? I mean, Universe is TPing back down to try and rat again, but it doesn't matter if you're splitting the racks, if you're losing the base. 1 tier 4 almost certainly going to fall, potentially 2. Now the buybacks have just come back on. Sumail can get back in, but already both tier 4s down. Newbee looking towards the base. There's the buyback. Can they hold? RTZ with the Shiva's card trying to slow them down. The arrow connects onto the OD. Torrent follows through as well. Here comes the bow, but S-Triple-C jukes it just in time with the Astral Imprisonment. Newbee, they're focusing the base. They're looking for the game. RTZ looks to cut down Mugi. Not quite enough damage. Mugi's still alive. BKB out by S-Triple-C. Blinks in. Finishes off the game. Newbee take game 1.
Wow. Super impressive way that they stalled the game out.